Georgia just made a new rule regarding transgender student athletes, and the radicals aren't gonna like it. Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Rashad Crenshaw back again with another video. And the Georgia High School Association officially banned transgender athletes from participating based on gender identification, and now requires athletes to compete based on gender assigned at birth. So, I'm sure you guys have read all the stories about transgender athletes, right, who were originally male, transitioning over to the female side of things, now identifying as female and participating in female sports, and stripping real women of championships and titles that they've worked their entire lives for, only to lose it all to a dude who claims to be a woman.
Biological male has just become the first transgender person to win a world title in cycling.
First transgender weightlifter winning her maiden international event as a woman.
A biological male winning a gold medal in a women's event now seems a matter of when.
Now, me personally, I have no beef with the transgender community. I have no beef with people who identify as male or female or transitioning. I've got no issue, got no beef. Your personal life is your personal life. However, when you begin to compete in sports, especially if you're a man transitioning to a woman, there are certain things you can't do. You cannot transition to a woman and participate in female sports because it's not fair. How is it fair for a young woman to work her whole life in a sport, to grind it out, to spend days in and out studying while simultaneously being a student athlete of the highest caliber, only for you, someone who still possesses the physicality of a male, the testosterone of a male, the bone structure and density of a male, and thickness of a male, the muscle structure and density of a male, for you to hop into that sport and compete with these women is incredibly unfair. The fact that I even have to say this is insane. And that's what the world is starting to become nowadays. Insane. Where you literally have to agree with these narratives and support these narratives. Otherwise, you're transphobic, you're LGBTQ phobic, you don't like trans people, you don't like queer people. They always try to take a simple position and stretch it to the most demonic, diabolical opinion that they can possibly, because you hate the trans community, you hate the queer community. When all people are simply saying is, make it fair. If you identify as a woman, that's perfectly fine. Do you in your personal life. But when you get into the swimming pool, when you get on the basketball court, when you get in the weight room, when you start competing against women, especially in individual one-on-one sports like tennis or you're competing against women in the weight room, powerlifting, strong man or strong woman, it is unbelievably unfair for these women to work their entire lives up to this point, juggling school, juggling sports, only to come up short to someone who's not even a woman biologically. The fact that only one state has made an official rule against this is baffling, but it also goes to show that there's some sort of hope, that we're not 100% shifting off into the deep end and going absolutely insane. Because what I find disturbing is the fact that this has become almost normal now. Like it's normal for us to act like a person who has not transitioned, who has not gone under hormone replacement therapy, someone who hasn't gone under any sort of therapy or operations in any way, shape, or form to mold their body to that of a woman, somehow is allowed to compete in female-based sports. It's unbelievable that we as a society have somehow made it unfair or evil or wrong for us to say, hey, that lady right there is still a man biologically. and should not be allowed to compete against someone's daughter who is risking everything, putting everything aside, putting everything away. Friends, hanging out, boyfriend, whatever the case might be, all for this dream of being a top athlete in their top sport. These are people's daughters. These are people. And their dreams are being spat on in favor of somebody who needs to be competing in the male section of the sports. The world is going absolutely insane. It's going absolutely insane. It's going absolutely insane. We have to get a hold of this culture that we're creating right now, or it's gonna be too late. We're constantly seeing the goalposts be shifted. If you don't agree with this, you hate this. If you don't agree with that, you hate that. Instead of it simply being a simple, rational discussion, it instead turns into absolute chaos. And as we've seen with Destiny, a left-wing YouTuber who was banned from Twitch because of some simple views about transgenderism and transgenders competing in certain sports, he got removed from Twitch. They got rid of him because apparently you can't have an opinion that doesn't even encroach on hate. He didn't come out and say anything against transgenders. He didn't come out and hate on them, but the man was removed from Twitch and deleted. Lost all that money that he could have made from those streams simply because of a difference in opinion that did not stretch into hate speech or a call for violence. And we're all supposed to act like this is normal.